name is Chantel, and in this video, I will be going over some features of Riviera PRO's Waveform Viewer. Knowing what you can do with your simulation results in the Waveform Viewer will lead to a better overall debugging experience for your design. For this video, I'll be using Riviera PRO 2023, the most recent version of Riviera PRO. I will also be using one of Riviera PRO's example designs. Go to File System tab, and in the Riviera PRO's directory, expand Examples, then Tools, and then right-click on the Transactions directory and click on Set as Working Directory. This action allows us to work with the files within the directory without having to open up its workspace. Now, inside of the Transactions directory, expand Source, and we're going to right-click on the Project Run Me VHDL macro and click Execute. This will execute the macro, which will then run a simulation and open up a waveform view. After the macro has finished executing, we can see the results of the simulation in our waveform viewer. This sample design also demonstrates transactions. One of the two transaction streams, data send receive, can be expanded to view the details about it on the waveform. They can also be seen inside of the transaction stream window. This sample design was able to display these transactions on the waveform by using this wave command inside of the executed macro file, followed by this variable. And this variable is sourced from the variables macro file and is basically a set of names of the transactions within the design. I'll also briefly go over adding signals to the waveform. One way to do this is to click on the Hierarchy button to open up and see the design's hierarchy. Then click and drag signals from the list of objects. The other way is to right-click on an object, click on Add To, and then click on Waveform. With all these signals in the viewer now's a useful time to use bookmarks. These bookmarks can be used to mark certain areas of the waveform at a signal or at a given time. To bookmark a part of a signal, highlight the signal and click at the time you want to mark. Click on Add Bookmark, and it will take you to the Properties window of the bookmark. Here, you can name the bookmark, change the time where the bookmark is placed, give it zoom values, and you can even add a comment to the bookmark. Just click on Add button afterwards when the properties are set to your liking. If there's a time you want to bookmark but not for a particular signal, just click on the timescale and then click on Toggle Bookmark. You can then use Next or Previous Bookmark to navigate through all your bookmarks. But you can also use the bookmarks list to see them all in one window. When you're done using bookmarks, click on this Clear All Bookmarks to remove all of them. In this waveform viewer, you can also take a look at the delta cycles of the signals. To do this, click on an area of an event of the signal and then click on Open Delta. Even though the simulation views the change as instantaneous, you could see at the top where the timescale is at that the change occurs at this many nanoseconds plus 1 delta cycle. You can open up the view of multiple delta cycles by repeating the previous steps mentioned. And to close delta cycles, you can click on one and close it using Close Delta, or just click on Close All Deltas to remove all of them. Being able to view these delta cycles can be helpful in detecting possible race conditions within your design. With all these signals, it might be difficult to keep track of all of them, so this waveform viewer provides multiple ways to group signals together to make the waveform viewer experience easier on the eyes. One way to do this is by selecting all the signals you want to group together. I'll be using the DUT signals I added in earlier. Right-click, go to Create, and then click on Virtual Group. All of the Create options have their own shortcuts as well, so you can use that instead of right-clicking. Once the virtual group has been created, you can rename the group, and from there, whenever you need to take a look at a signal that's part of that group, just click on the Expand button to maximize or minimize the group view. You can also group signals together by a virtual record. A virtual record allows for combining items of different types. Similar to the steps of creating a virtual group, select the signals to group together, then create a virtual record by right-clicking and creating, or use the shortcut for it. And now, you can rename the virtual record as well. As you can see, the difference between a virtual record and a virtual group is that the virtual record concatenates all the signals values into one, where each signal value is separated by spaces, whereas you would need to expand the virtual group to see the signal value you're looking for. With these virtual objects, you can create a signal hierarchy by moving a virtual record or another virtual group inside of a virtual group if you'd like. In this case, arbiter J would go inside of the DUT virtual group, and that matches the design hierarchy as well. One other grouping method is a virtual array. This is an object that can contain only elements of the same type and of the same range. For example, I'm going to create a slice of bits using address write inside of transactor ports. I'm going to select the 5th to the 3rd bit of the standard logic signal, and then right-click, create, and then virtual array. You can see that the value displayed from the array adds the values together, since the group signals correspond to the same type and range. With the array, you can also find specific values from it. Just highlight the virtual array, right-click, then click Find Object. To find a value, click on the Find Value tab. Specify the value you're looking for. I'm just going to look for 2. And from here, you can count all the instances, mark all the instances, or find the previous or next instance of that value. You can also do this by going to the main bar and clicking on Waveform, then Find Value. And that's about it for this video. To quickly recap, I've covered how to use some features of the Waveform viewer such as bookmarks, viewing transactions, delta cycles, and various grouping methods. Knowing these features and more about the Waveform viewer will lead you one step closer to better design simulation and verification. Thanks for watching.